People have said it for years.
Bailey, you have a black cloud hanging over you all the time.
Now, there's a podcast to hear those dumbass stories of misery and triumph. Welcome to Bailey's Black Cloud Podcast.
Episode 58, Bailey's Black Cloud Podcast. Thanks for being here. My name's Jason Bailey in the Golden Scissors Studio, beautiful Roswell, Georgia. Golden Scissors Studio sponsored by our friend Dave Flashner at Stockton Mortgage. Housing market's nutso right now, but before you get into a house, right, you got to see if you can afford it. Crunch some numbers, as they say. Dave Flashner's a no bullshit guy that picks up his phone. He really is great at what he does. I've used him numerous times. Extremely knowledgeable, extremely trustworthy. 561-951-0984, or you can go to stockton.com/Dave-Flashner. There's Nate in Mexico. Hello, Nate.
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
What are you doing? You look occupied.
Oh, nothing. I was just turning down my fan so it wasn't too loud.
No. Well, you got a fan. You don't have air conditioning?
I do, but I haven't turned it on since October.
Really? That's nice.
Mm-hmm.
What's your air bill there?
About $14.
That's so stupid. I do that average. You know, every 6 months they reevaluate and they just do an average, so you don't have like one bill that's a ridiculous amount and the other one, fluctuates. And I think I'm at $4.19 a month, which is high to me. I think it's kind of high.
Yeah,
it's a little ridiculous. And then in the state of Georgia, water, you start running your irrigation, it gets expensive. And then if you hit a pipe, if you're digging and it just starts flooding, you don't turn your water off in time, I think it's really expensive. I had an $800 water bill one time because my son hit a pipe. What are they called, Brandon? You do this for a living.
PVC.
PVC pipes. Yes.
You usually get a credit back from your water department.
I do. But it was still $800. Roswell Water Department, the city of Roswell, is really, really good. I got a friend in there. Her name's Patty. And when you call, that's one good thing about a small town government, is somebody picks up the phone, which is nice. And I call Patty. She's like, "Hey, Jason, missed you on the radio. Okay, yep, not a problem. Just send us this over. Okay, bye-bye. Good luck." It's very, very nice.
You got to hire Brandon to come out there and check your backflows.
Actually, that's funny you say that, Brandon. I was going to ask if you would come over and service my pipes.
Yeah, I can do that.
Come over and just make sure it's ready to rock and roll for sprinkler season. That's all.
But when's your backflow due? Is that required up there?
I don't know what you're talking about. What are you talking about?
You don't have someone that comes out like once a year, or you don't get a thing in the letter from the water department saying it's time to check your backflow?
I've not gotten a thing in the letter to say change my backflow, ever. I've never gotten a thing in the letter. I don't know what you're talking about. You're talking gibberish right now. I don't understand.
It's the backflow. It's on the irrigation systems. I don't know if it's required there.
You keep saying backflow, and all I think of is the Meat Puppet song from the 90s, Backwater. That's all I keep thinking about. So I don't know. Why don't you come over and tell me if I need a backflow? What is that? What do you do? Do you put her? What do you mean? What are you going to do to my? What is my backflow? What do you do? I don't even understand it.
The backflow just keeps water from going back into the main water supply for the city. So you're not getting all that fertilizer and the junk in the ground. If there was a main water break, the water would backflow or siphon out of your yard into the main water supply and contaminate it.
Well, how do I know if it's doing that?
Well, you got to get it tested and to make sure those check valves in there, the springs are still good. And basically all you're doing is you're forcing water backwards into the backflow to double check the springs.
All right, just for the sake of entertainment, Brandon, I would like to hire you to come over my house, check my backflow, check my springs. What I originally was going to ask you to do is just walk around my yard and make sure my sprinklers are good to go. That's all. That's all is, good to go. Because I turned them on the other day and I could do it through an app. So I'm walking around the yard and one of them seemed like it was a little wonky. That is because it's been underground for, the fall. So I was like, I'll call Brandon, give him the job to come over and do it. But now you're talking about how much you're going to charge me for my backflow.
75.
Well, you probably should charge a little extra because it hasn't been checked in 7 years, obviously, after this conversation. So it might
Well, I mean,
take
you
a
don't
little
even
longer.
need. If they haven't sent you a letter about getting it checked, I wouldn't even do it.
Well, what
It's
if
better they don't know.
I'm curious now, but you're going to charge me $75, which you charge everybody else. You're not giving me a discount?
Well, I might be able to give you knock off a few dollars.
I mean, come on. That's what this country's made of. Backdoor deals, buddy system, the good old boy network. You're going to charge me the same thing you charge everybody. You're an asshole. You don't do that. You give your friends the hookup. You say, I normally charge $75, but for you, I'll give you an extra 10% off.
No, see, the new phrase now, and I can't remember what the little meme says or whatever, but you're supposed to support your friends. You're supposed to hire your friends and not expect a discount from them.
Oh, I've not seen that meme yet. Where's that meme at?
All over.
No, that's no way.
Yeah, it's basically saying you shouldn't expect to get something for cheaper just because it's their friend. You should support their small business and pay what everybody else pays.
Well, okay. I think the opposite of that would be if you're the one providing the service, I think you decide which tier of friend they are for whatever discount you would give. I'll give you an example. So my friend DJ that I went to college with, my fraternity brother, actually I credit him with getting me into radio. And we don't talk a lot, every so often, we'll talk on Facebook, so see each other once a year for a fantasy draft that we've been in for over 20 years. But nonetheless, I love him like a brother. I would do anything for him. And I always will. I'm fond of our friendship. He was talking to me about renting out my cabin. And I told him, don't worry about it. Just come on up. And I gave him an entire week with him and his family. And I'm not expecting anything. Actually, in fact, I made it very clear because he says, well, how much do you want? And I said, I don't want anything. I actually said, take care of the cleaning fee. That's all. But that's how I think it should be because he's on that upper tier. Like I wouldn't charge you and I wouldn't even charge Brandon. I mean, I fucking paid for his stay in Mexico. I didn't ask him for anything.
Thank
Well,
you.
you already paid for the place. No, but I think you're right. I think it's up to the person that owns the business to decide if you get a discount or not.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. So Black Cloud podcast sponsored by Ridgeline Counseling. Dr. David Markwell and his therapists are ready to help with any issues you have, whether at any of the 3 Georgia locations or virtually. So you can go to markwelltherapy.com. Dr. David Markwell and his crew of amazing therapists. Get some help if you need some help. So this week's podcast is this Black Cloud podcast is going to be a series of events that are all under the umbrella of the Black Cloud that circles my life. All right. And it's like when one goofy things, I think most people will be able to relate to this. You have one of those days where one goofy thing happens. It doesn't have to be the end of the world thing, but just something goofy, out of place, out of your norm happens. Then there's a series of events that follow that day. And you're trying to always find a way out of it because you want to progress with your day and you've got things to do. But because these things keep happening, it's putting you backwards. I always like to say, your bike chain came off of the bike and you have to stop, take a second, turn the bike upside down, Brady Bunch style, put the bike chain back on, take a breath. Also, if it gets really bad, I'll just become a recluse the entire day. And I'll say, okay, I'm not supposed to enjoy this day. So in order for more bad things not to happen, I'm going to sit this one out and I'll start again tomorrow. Like that's how I look at it. But sometimes you don't have a choice. You guys understand what I'm saying here so far? You understand? You follow?
Yeah. It's like when it rains, it pours kind of thing. So
exactly. Yeah. You can't stop the weird shit that keeps happening. A lot of times it'll be in traffic where you'll have just some bad driver cut you off. Like, what the fuck? That, and then you keep driving. And then not even 5 minutes later, something else, a cat will fall from a building on your car. You're like, what the fuck? And then it's like one thing after another and you can't stop it. Brandon, do you understand what I'm saying so far?
Yeah, I mean, I run across odd things for sure.
I don't think he's old enough yet, Nate, to experience a really bad day. Like, I don't think you've lived enough life to be able to compare a bad day to a horrible day.
I think maybe, when you're younger, you don't really make a big deal about stuff. I mean, whatever it is, it's, Brandon probably slept in somebody's bathtub last night. Like, okay, yeah, like I'll sleep here, that kind of thing. Right. But as you get older, I mean, look at anybody on fucking the Nextdoor app. There's some 7-year-old screaming about a squirrel leaving acorn shavings on his sidewalk. I mean, it's just like people get more pissed off as you get older, I think.
That's a really good observation. It's funny, whatever age you are, and maybe generational as well, but whatever age you are, there are certain things that mean more to you than they ever have, or vice versa. They mean less than they ever have.
Yeah.
You get to like 70, and the worst possible thing that could happen during the day is somebody's dog taking a shit on your yard.
Yeah. There's not like some 18-year-olds in freshmen in college calling in about dog shit on the driveway.
If you're in your 50s, you're worried about the war, with Russia and the Ukraine right now, and politics, and that's all you're talking about. You know everything, and this now and gas prices, and that's all you talk about. And you can fix it all. You're genius. You're fucking brilliant. When you hit that 70 to 80 and you're close to death, you're like, fucking dog keeps shitting on my yard. And when you're Brandon's age, you're like, whatever, man. I just need
it is what it is.
Just need some money for some pizza. That's all I need, man. Pizza and a cool bud and a cool wave, man. That's all I need. Yeah. So, all right. Well, that's that. Well, so here's the series of events that took place not that long ago. In a time not that long ago, the Black Cloud, Bailey's Black Cloud, of series of events took place. So I'm in a rental car, right, at the time of when this happened, and lately I've just been in La La Land. I think I've mentioned this a couple times on some episodes. I don't know what's wrong with me. Like, I'm usually very focused, laser beam focused. I can remember everything. I'm a steel trap. But lately, for some reason, I've forgotten things that I normally would not forget. I've cared less about certain things that I normally would care a lot about. And I don't know what's going on. It's kind of weird. So I'm in a rental car. I'm in this Jeep Compass, right? My truck's in the shop after the Asian student driver hit me. Side note, the Jeep Compass is, without a doubt, the worst possible vehicle you could ever drive. It is horrible. It is the biggest piece of shit ever. Don't buy a Jeep Compass. It's bad. I would rather ride public transportation than a Jeep Compass. Really, it's that bad. It's really a horrible automobile.
Is that the same one?
What's bad about it?
Well, no to Brandon. It's not the same one that we got my daughter, but that was kind of a piece too. That's why she doesn't have it anymore. And it's bad because it's so flimsy and cheap, and it doesn't drive well. It's bumpy, and the computer screen keeps going. I know, first world problems, but it keeps going on and off, and it's just a bad car. It's just bad. At least to me, I don't like it. Maybe if you're a Jeep Compass lover, good for you.
I've never driven one. I was just curious why.
Well, don't buy one. Okay. Promise
Got
me.
it.
Raise your right hand so you never buy one ever again.
You're fine.
Okay. So I'm in this piece of shit, and I'm still getting massages on my feet, to help out with my plantar fasciitis. So I'm walking out of the sketchier place, not the one at North Point, the one out by my house, the one where the lady grabs the handlebars of the ceiling and walks on your back when you do a massage. Yeah. Where people actually call up and go, do you do extra? That one. But it's close. It's nearby. And I couldn't get to North Point, so I went down there. I go in. I get an amazing foot rub. They do a great job. Good foot rub. 30 minutes. I come out. I'm a little hazy, right? It was that good. And when you're in a dark massage room, they have all these chairs lined up. And you walk outside and it's bright and you're just like, la, 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 and you're kind of sleepy. So I'm walking to my Jeep Compass, but I forget that I'm in a Jeep Compass, but I remember I'm in a Jeep Compass. Because, it's like, it's muscle memory with your car. You're just automatically attracted to in the parking lot. You don't necessarily remember where you parked. You just remember where your car's at. There's a difference, right? A little bit. You're just like, oh, you go there. So now I'm looking for this other car, and I'm not thinking twice about it. Now, my truck kind of stands out because it's a big black Denali. And I was like, all right, it stands out from the other cars. Plus, I always park far away so I don't get dinged. This one I don't give a shit about. So I'm parking up front. And I'm just walking, and I go up to my car door, and I open it, and I hear, ah! It's not my car. It's somebody else's car. And the woman grabs the door and slams it back, right? And I thought it was like, at first, I was like, I feel like an idiot, but I'm sorry. And it's, just laugh it off. It's kind of funny. So I stand there looking at her through her tinted windows as she kind of leans into the center console, like, please don't hurt me. And I'm laughing, and I'm going, I'm so sorry. Like I'm screaming, like it's that much soundproof in there. Like, I'm so sorry, but I mean, how stupid am I? She's like, okay, fine, you can leave. Okay, thank you. I'm like, oh my God, she thinks I'm trying to rob her. This is this is the most awkward situation. There's no way out of this. I can't stay there and converse because she wants me to leave. But I made a mistake, and I want to talk to her about it, but she doesn't want to talk to me. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if she was dialing law enforcement at the time. It was just very awkward. Have you ever done that, Nate? Have you ever opened up somebody else's car door with them in there, and then the after effect is you look like a criminal?
I've never done it with somebody in there. I've never opened one. I've tried to. I've gone to the wrong car and tried to open the one of the doors, but I can see how she. I mean, today in this world, somebody just comes in and tries to open your door. You probably think you're getting robbed or mugged, especially with the news in Atlanta. I'm not surprised that she was afraid. And when she was leaning in the console, she might have been getting her gun out. So you probably should have just got out of there as soon as possible.
Isn't that sad? I agree with you. I definitely agree with you. The key words are this day and age, right? But when it's you and you're not that person, it hurts. It stings a little bit, right?
Yeah.
So like if you were to go to somebody's door, the same thing were to happen to you. Obviously, you're not that person. I'm not that person. Brandon's not that person. But they automatically think that you're that person. That's a sad state of affairs, right?
Yeah, I remember.
You just opened her car door. I mean, it don't matter what day and age it is, I don't think. You just randomly open someone's car door, they're going to be scared.
Well, that's not necessarily true. So go back a couple years. It was July. I was leaving. It was a Wednesday night. I'm walking to my car in a quote-unquote private area of the tennis tournament that I host at Atlantic Station, the ATP 250. And I get into my truck. It's late. I've got to get up in a couple hours to go to work. And I was hungry, and I just happened to have a protein bar in my center console. So I'm usually really good about being observant around people being around me and all that kind of stuff. I'm even a little bit paranoid maybe. But I get into my truck, and I never roll down the passenger window. There's no need to. But I dropped... the protein bar was old, so it like cracked in half when I opened the paper. So I dropped it on the ground, and my floors were dirty. So I opened the door and just threw out the top part of the protein bar. I know it sounds goofy, but there's a reason. I'll tell you this whole story. And when I threw it out, literally all happening simultaneously, throwing it out, the next thing I see is this guy leaning into my truck with this weird Crocodile Dundee hat on. And he goes, hey, Jason, what's up? Now, being in a business where you have fans, right? People that appreciate what you do, it's very, you can't blow people off because they're just, most of the time, they just want to say, I love the show, I do this, and blah, 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 blah. That's what I automatically assumed. Drink for being stupid, right? This person later turned out to be a stalker that we had to call law enforcement on because he would come out to my events. The radio show would be out in certain, I know somebody we worked with was so like trying to claim it's my stalker. It's my, I was like, oh my God, dude, you can have him. You fucking egomaniac. So in that case, like the guy came up and I just automatically assumed no harm, no foul, Brandon, to your point, right? When I say this day and age, maybe it is, maybe that's, I don't know. It's just, that was my first thought. You probably most of the time my first thought would be fist up, but when he started to talk and he started to get creepy and weird, I had 1 foot on the brake and then 1 foot on the gas, ready to punch it. You know, so no, seriously, I started to get really freaked out, and I was able to talk him out of it and say, hey, let's talk tomorrow, man. Reach out to me, because I guess I owed him money. It's all fabricated. It's not real, or it's a different person. But he made a bet with somebody about an MMA fight, and that person owed him money. I don't know what the fuck the guy's talking about. No, I have no idea who he was. So he just eventually disappeared. So that was the first of the goofy events, right? So this is all in one day, right? So the lady screams, wrong car, open it up. So where this took place is, because I plan out my bubble of visits. I go down the street, and I might pop into this store and go over to here to Dick's, and maybe do a run into the dog store, and then go over to Home Depot and flop over to the massage place and wrap back around to Kroger, but it's all in a circle, right? So Home Depot's right across the street. I go over to Home Depot, and I'm in the garden section, and where everybody has the big carts, not the normal carts, but the big carts. Actually, let's talk about those carts for a second. Home Depot is brilliant. Have you ever seen the new shiny silver lawn carts they have in the lawn department? They've got the bouncy top. So when you put shit on there, it doesn't dent the cart. It kind of it's got like little hydraulics on it. You guys ever noticed that? You ever been there?
Talking about the flat carts? The flat metal ones?
No, not the flat metal ones in the wood department. I'm talking about the flat silver ones that they have in the lawn and garden department. They've got a bouncy top to it. So if you take some pavers or some bags of rock and you throw it, it has a little give to it. It's absolutely brilliant, whoever came out with this idea. I love them. They're fun to drive. Yeah, great. Anyway, so that's what, everybody's got one of those. So they're big. And I'm walking down an aisle, and it was like a traffic jam. And there was a cart like literally in my way. Now, I'm a little irritated still by this whole thing. I'm still in a little bit of a daze. I just came in to get one thing, get in and get out. So I'm walking, and I'm on a mission. Right? It's like, just don't get in my fucking way. And I go through the plastic double doors, boom, knock them open. And I beeline for whatever it is I needed to get that day. And these carts are in my way. And I can't split the difference. So I just keep walking without stopping. There's nobody around the cart. I take the cart, and I gently push it out of my way. And I walk past it. I don't put it back. I just pushed it just a little bit. Because it's fucking rude. What are you stupid? You're blocking the aisle. Whoever's cart this belongs to, I don't want to get into it with you, but you're a fucking idiot. So I go, and then I hear this as I walk by. Thanks for moving my cart. It kept rolling. Excuse me? So I stop. I walk back. I turn around. This large, dirty woman is trying to be a smartass. I'm not the guy. She picked the wrong person. Yeah. She goes, you pushed it and you didn't stop it. So it just kept rolling like it was going off a cliff, right?
Yeah.
Like God forbid you get a little cardio in today and get your fucking cart that you put in the middle of the aisle, big fat woman. So I go, okay, no problem. I'm glad you got it. And she goes, yeah, well, that's kind of rude. I said, it was rude that you left your cart in the middle where nobody could walk, or rude that I pushed it out of the way and you had to go fetch it. Or I said, fetch it or something. And she goes, oh, fetch it. That's cute. And I said, thank you. And I start walking away. And then you hear her jabbering, So now I'm getting in fights. This is the second woman that I've had an issue with. And it's not my fault. It really isn't my fault. But it all started with the car, because it just didn't stop there. It just did not stop there. There's one other thing that happened, and this was in the parking lot that I'll get to here in a second, but you're seeing what I'm getting at here, right, Nate? The series of events when one black cloud happens, it's a snowball effect, right?
Yeah.
You can't,
yeah, totally.
Can't stop it. Do you do anything specific to stop it? Like I said, I try to become a recluse, but now I'm on a mission. Like I'm on full speed ahead. I got shit to do before I can even get home.
Yeah, I usually don't have these. I think it's more of a Bailey Black Cloud thing, hence the podcast. But I think with your second thing, I fucking hate that. I hate people that leave, especially at the grocery store. They'll have their cart and they'll park it even just on the side of the aisle, and it's blocking like rows of whatever you're trying to get. And for some reason, people have no like self-awareness of who is behind them or near them. Or I can feel, I don't know about you guys, but I can feel somebody coming up behind me or near me or at the corner of my eye. But for some reason, these people at least at the grocery store cannot sense where anybody is, and they're always in the fucking way. I can't stand it.
You know what they also do at the grocery store that drives me nuts is, so if I go to the tobacco aisle to get my dip, and most of the time, especially if I go to Kroger, where they got some dumb people that work there, and I have to point it out. And that drives me nuts in itself, because I feel if you have a job and you work somewhere, you have 1 week to memorize everything that there is about that store. That's how it should work. If you get a job at Kroger today, you should spend the next week, however, whether you're on the clock or off the clock, memorizing everything in every aisle and where it's at. Some customers should not have to guess where it's at if they ask you. And then you should walk them to it if they ask you, hey, where's the peanut butter? Please follow me, sir. Thank you very much. And show them. And said, I think it's over there. It could be 8 or 9, maybe 10, somewhere around there. That's bad customer service because you don't know where the peanut butter's at. Same with the dip. They never know which dip is mine, even when I explain it to them. It's the Subway theory. They ask you everything you want on your sub, but they forget when they get to the first little tub. Yeah, go ahead and tell me everything you want. All right, I'm going to do a cheesesteak, lettuce, pickles, black olives, mayo, light mayo, salt and pepper, and a splash of Southwest sauce. Okay, fine. They got it right there. They're at the first thing. What do you want on it? You just fucking asked me. Why did you ask me if you're going to ask me again? It's such a waste of life. Like, I've wasted time in my life. It sucks. So the same thing with the grocery store. I'll tell, giving them the benefit of the doubt because I already know they're not going to know it. So I'm like, second row down from the top, third in from the left. It's the dark blue can with the silver ring. I mean, literally, if you've ever old schooled a map before, those are perfect directions. I just ran McNally'd your ass for dip, okay? It's right there. X marks the spot. They get over to the case, they open the case, and they just start grabbing different ones because they're not listening. You lazy fucks. Listen to people when they talk to you, right? That's the problem. People don't listen when you give them directions. Drives me insane. Such a waste of time, a waste of life. So, okay, so you get it. Brandon, you're on board so far? You understand the series of events? You might not have experienced it, but you can feel you're like in my shoes right now. You are me.
Yes.
One could only be so lucky. I understand. So the third thing that took place, I go out. I'm like, I just got to get out of here. Because I've been here. I've done this. This isn't the first time. People listening can relate. They know what I'm talking about. I just need to get out of here. I'm going home. I'm going to do some work. I'm going to lay down, play with my dogs, go out in the backyard, do something. I just need to not be around people. All right? High traffic areas create black cloud moments. So I go and I get in my truck. Now, I saw this guy earlier, and there was just a bad vibe. I didn't talk to him. We didn't catch eyes. I just saw him. He was that guy. He had his stickers in his back window. He had his big old red truck. He had his dirty wife. He was dirty. You know what I'm talking about, Nate, right? You know the guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
It's Brandon's father. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just joking. I'm joking. That was mean. I just knew, he just look at that guy I just wouldn't get along with. He's parked behind me. But there's, big gap. I'm parked towards the side shopping plaza. He's parked behind me. And, my piece of shit Jeep Compass, which I think says a lot too. It's not intimidating like the truck. If I were in the truck, this probably wouldn't have happened. And so I'm first to get in my truck, and I'm first to pull out or back up. I look before because I saw them getting in their truck. And I was just making sure, but they were doing something. I don't know. I have no idea what they were doing. Probably licking each other's dirt marks off their faces. And as I went into reverse, he started going into reverse. Like he knew it. Like he wanted a confrontation with me. He was like just yearning to fight me. You could just tell it. And I honk. And he stopped. And he honks back. and he rolls his window down, and he leans out, and he goes, "Wah!" I don't know what that means. "Wah!" You know, I'm like, fuck, get me home. Just get me home. Now, because I don't have a big truck, I can maneuver, and there's plenty of room for me to get there, but he wasn't going back in. So I honked again. "Wah! Wah!" You know, it's one of those things, you know, being cool. And I'm not making any hand movement, any gesture. I just want to get out of there. I just want to go home. I don't want this confrontation. I really, really don't. So I have enough room to pull out and then be on my way. So I did. I pulled out and I turned, but truth be told, I turned a little bit more to the right as I was coming out, just so I could see him, and rolled the window down. I said, "You all right?" And he goes, "Yo, what the fuck you honking at, man?" I was like, "Because you're about to hit my car. You're about to fucking hit my car." I was like, "Okay, that makes a lot of sense. You have a good day." "Yeah, fuck you, man." Like, Jesus. Like, update your fucking presidential sticker and move on. So I get in my truck and I move, and I just, or my Jeep Compass, and I get to the light, and I'm just like, get me out of here. And that was it, man. And I went home, and that ruined my day. You could say, well, you shouldn't allow it to ruin your day, but that's how you get out of the series of black cloud moments from the first trigger, is that you have to take a life reset. You have to reset the universe, like physically reset the universe in order to get back on track, because it's one thing after another. You know, I wanted to go to TJ Maxx. I really, really did. I wanted to see if they had a new shipment in. But I wasn't able to, because all the shit that was happening. Everything from screaming car door lady to bitchy cart woman to yeehaw, fuck you, I'm backing up truck guy, you know? So that's it.
You ever tried to pretend like you're deaf? Like when people start talking, just like start signing. Maybe they'll feel bad, and these things won't happen.
No, I think we used to do that when we were picking up girls when we were younger, you know, like in our 20s or something, just because it was funny. And, you know, then of course every once in a while you're going to run across the girl that actually knows sign language. And she's like, "That's not sign language." You'd be like, "Yeah, I know, I'm just kidding. I'm not really deaf." She's like, "Oh, my brother's deaf. That's pretty fucked up. Goodbye." Never tried that, but it's a thing, you know, it's a series of events, and you got to do something to do it. So I don't know. I mean, maybe you guys have a better advice on how to get out of that stuff, but that's how I've always done it.
I think the last guy, it was the Jeep again, because I think the last dude, if you had a truck, he'd see you as a fellow truck guy and be like, "All right, it's cool, bro. We're both truck dudes." But he's like, "This fucking loser in his little Jeep getting in my way. Fuck him."
Brandon, you'll attest to this. There's something to be said about that. You know, truck drivers, for the most part, stick together, especially brands stick together. GMCs will let other GMCs in. They'll usually let another truck in. But if you have this like hatred for Chevy or Ford or Nissan or something like that, you don't let it's a thing. There's no doubt about it. And being in a truck is a little intimidating, especially if it's on a lift and you got the big tires.
Oh yeah.
You just feel like, you know, I know I almost got those, but I was like, I don't know if that's my style.
Oh, you should have 6-inch lift with 37-inch tires.
I don't know
That's where it's at.
I don't hear you right now. I don't know what that means, but like when I got new tires, my friends at Carl Black were like, "What kind of tires do you want? Do you want?" They had different categories for the tires, like kind of pussy to real man tires. That's what they were kind of getting to. And like, yeah, the tires that you had on there were just above pussy level.
Yeah, you had regular road tires on there.
Yeah, the regular road tire. I didn't know. And they're like, if you want these, it's like off-road tires. Like, well, I don't need off-road. I don't go off-roading. When I go off-roading, when I go to the cabin, I mean, I'm not going to be something I'm not just so other people think I'm something I'm not. So I was like, I don't need.
Well, you do have a truck.
Yeah, but I use it because I like the truck. I like how the truck drives. I like to be able to put stuff in the back when I need to. It's been invaluable. It's always I got the truck because I never had a truck before. And we were doing a lot of stuff around the house. And it's always that time where you need a truck where you don't have a truck. And then you got to borrow a truck or rent a truck. So let's just fucking buy a truck and have a nice truck so it drives like a Lexus, but I can put shit in the back. That's what this one does. I love it. I don't ever want to get rid of it.
Yeah. I just think that the the truck guys like Brandon's truck, like the dinged up, dirty, got a bunch of junk in the back at all times guy is probably looking down upon the design. You guys are like the designer truck guys. Like it's all about looks. It's not really about functionality. So maybe they have a little bit of issue with you guys.
Well, he's jealous. He won't admit it, but those types of people are jealous of people like me that drive what you call the designer trucks. That's fact. It's scientifically proven.
Maybe, or maybe they're just irritated. It's like the USB record players that the kids are getting these days. You know, it's like you guys don't really know what you're doing. You're just playing so you look cool, that kind of thing.
Well, the question you would ask, and Brandon, I'll ask you, if you could trade your truck in right now for my truck, would you?
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
I'd change it up.
Yeah, and now ask me, Jason, would you trade your truck in for Brandon's truck? Absolutely not. So that's
Well, you don't need a truck that I got for anything. You don't need a 2500 diesel because you don't do anything like that.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Tough Guy. What do you do that you need some big truck to do? What do you
backflows and irrigation?
You hauling stuff from state to state? What are you doing? You doing drug runs for the cartel? Tell me more.
No, I gotta tow the machine around. It's like a 3-ton machine. So I gotta be able to have something that can pull that.
And when you say 3-ton machine, you're talking about the girl you're dating, right?
Yeah. I heard dig all the holes.
And Bailey has to tug around all the cheerleaders from his daughter's cheerleading squad. So,
well, look, I'm not tugging around equipment. You know, occasionally I'll hook something up to the hitch. I know how to do that, and I have. I've hooked stuff up to the hitch, taken stuff up to the cabin, so on and so forth. So I'm not like totally manless when it comes to this kind of thing.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But you know, during Halloween, the kids like to put hay in the back, and you know, I need a truck for that. When I'm taking bulk, you know, a lot of items to certain places, they fit nice in the back. You know, that's where it goes. You know, so that's my level of truckness.
But the Jeeps, they do have their own thing too. They have that Jeep Wave. You know, like all the Jeep drivers. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, they do. They fingers or whatever.
Yeah, the 2 fingers.
No,
that's called the Jeep. That's called the Jeep Wave.
What is it? The fist, and then
you have it like on the steering wheel, and you either do the 2 fingers or you do the 1, 2, and then all of them, and then go back. And every Jeep driver does it when they drive by another Jeep.
Really? I never knew that. I knew Saturn drivers had some kind of, because they had that barbecue.
What?
I don't know about Saturn. It's Subaru. Subarus definitely have like a little cult following also. It's weird.
Bikers. Bikers do a little 2 fingers down.
I was watching Big the other day, you know, with Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
And the chick that he dates as an adult, at the end when she drops him off at his house and he walks past, you know, Josh Baskin goes home. I'm like, what car is that? Because it looks like a Fiero. And I totally forgot how that sport Subaru was like a thing. You know, it was the 2-toned, popular maroon and gray 2-tone Subaru Sport, the little 2-seater. And I was like, oh yeah, it's a fucking Subaru. I forgot. Those are kind of nifty. All right. So with that being said, just my last piece of advice for today's, before we go, because today's a freebie for those that don't know. I know a lot of people will listen to the freebie episodes, which we appreciate. Don't get me wrong, but you're missing out on so much other content. So I've got to tell you now, while I have your attention, that the BS Network is strong. It is strong. It is long and in charge, right? To get the friction on, whatever all that means. But there's a lot of stuff up there. Lots and lots of stuff. Like, you need to not go anywhere else if you subscribe and become a 2%er. So we have now obviously shows 7 days a week. We have the BS on Mondays and Fridays, Tuesdays Smarta Marta, Black Cloud on Wednesday, Thursday Good, Bad, and the Ugly, Saturday the Way J Bayback Moments. But we've added Tuesday, Brandy Britton and her friend Lindsay, the only Brandy and Lindsay podcast where they talk about their OnlyFans account. It's fascinating stuff. Now, on Thursdays, Nikki D and her friend Maddie, the Not Your Typical Tea with Nikki D and Maddie is on Thursdays. Very proud of her. Very excited. Might not be everybody's cup of tea, but I'm sure it'll be somebody's cup of tea. That's why it's called Not Your difficulty. You get it? And then on Sundays, it's the star of the entire network. I mean, we would not exist if it weren't for the Clueless 2 with Brandon and Deaf August. Would you like to brag about your podcast and how, I mean, it's extremely popular. People love whatever it is the fuck you're talking about. Some of the stuff, some of the highlights. Give us some of the highlights of the Clueless 2 podcast.
I think on the last one we went over our bad medical mistakes, like how the doctor screwed us over with August's eye like falling out almost, and my foot almost falling off from a bad cast.
That's fascinating stuff. Fascinating stuff. And that's, you can only get that. Sundays we release that. So you get all that. You can sign up, podcastthebs.com, subscribe, podcastthebs.com. I know it's scary for some of you, which I will discuss on Friday's show after a very educational and exciting, I don't want to say confrontation, I don't want to say meeting, but run-in with some former radio listeners not that long ago. So I didn't realize how podcasting could be so scary. You know what I'm getting at, right? Right, Nate?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
I do.
For some reason it's scary. And I'm not downing you, but I'll tell you about that conversation on Friday. Also on Friday's episode, Brad Meltzer from Decoded History Channel. And he's got a new book out, always writing books. He's like a New York Times bestseller 10 times over again. This is not a children's book. This is a sci-fi book. And Brad's just been a friend for years, and I love him to death. And he's a good dude. So we'll talk to Brad Meltzer. Very knowledgeable. He's an historian as well, right? Would you consider Brad an historian? I would.
I would too, and I think because he gets like secret access to these government files and locations that nobody else gets, which I still don't understand why they would do that for him, but he gets it somehow, and so he does have. And I guess you could say he's more of a historian too, because he helped find that 9/11 flag and he tracked it down through documents and stuff. So that's pretty much a historian, I would think.
Out of everyone that I've interviewed in my career, when I talk to Brad, I learn something every time, one, and two, I hear things that he says that I know he's not telling anyone else, right? And
Right.
three, now I have information about something everybody can relate to that no one knows. Those are my big three takeaways I get from Brad Meltzer every single time. You know,
And he's the nicest guy. Whenever he emails me, he always ends it. I love you guys.
yeah, he's
I love you,
he's so
Brad.
sweet.
He is.
And if you are a subscriber, you're a 2%er, you're automatically in the drawing. We like to have a big prize every month. Atlanta Grill Company has been great to us. You know, they not only give us gift cards for Smarta Marta, but this month, the March Better Than Radio Big Giveaway is a Man Law Pizza Stone and Man Law 3-quart cast iron grill pot. Very cool if you're a griller. It's grilling season, right? And we're getting out there. We're doing it up. We're getting our grill, and it's our thing. I mean, it's my thing. This is going to be great. Pizzas on the grill are delicious. And those 3-quart cast iron grill pots are not cheap either. So anything cast iron ain't cheap. Just make sure you season it. If you're a griller, you know what that means. You got to season your cast iron. All right, before we get out, Nate, anything?
Watch where you leave your cart.
Watch where you leave your cart. Brandon.
Don't rob people in the parking lot.
Don't rob people in the parking lot. All right. Thanks for listening, and bye.
Get off my lawn! It's old man Kevin, and the BS is done for right now.
Please share, like, and support podcastthebs.com. It's better than radio.
Now, get out of here.